afternoon from Los Angeles and happy Friday. Welcome to Stock Market Today, sponsored by Interactive Brokers. On today's show, we're going to be taking a look at the charts of Adobe, MasterCard, and ServiceNow. But first, we want to take a look at the major indexes. It's Alyssa Quorum here, joined by Ken Shreve. And Ken, we were able to finish up across the board. The S&P and Dow looks like ever so slightly. The Nasdaq a little bit higher than that, up about 0.2% for the day, but definitely off of highs from that morning pop that we got on news that the Phase 1 trade deal is pretty much official at this point.
Yeah, there was some little confusion about that for a little while, but I guess, those expecting big gains for the stock market today were left a little disappointed, but we did have a pretty solid session Thursday, so I think the market priced in a lot of this news yesterday, but so the Nasdaq ended with a small gain. We had some chip stocks under a little bit of selling pressure, but a nice rebound in software stocks. So Nasdaq, you can see, closed off its highs, but touched another all-time high today. We're still in a confirmed uptrend here, and action in growth stocks, as we've been saying in recent shows, still looking pretty good.
Yeah, that's right. And you mentioned software, so let's take a look at Adobe, which finished the day up almost 4% in heavy volume after issuing its quarterly report late Thursday. It did post beats on the top and bottom lines. Guidance was a little bit on the light side, but we did see a third quarter in a row of accelerating earnings growth, up 25% for the quarter. So a solid breakout here for Adobe, although it did come a little bit off of those intraday highs.
Yeah, but it was really a picture-perfect breakout from a cup with handle base here. You can see the daily chart, nice little handle area formed over the past 10 trading sessions or so, and a good solid breakout over a 310 buy point. So every time I talk about Adobe, talking about such a mega cap stock like this, it kind of reminds me of Microsoft. We were able to pivot into new markets, and Adobe was really one of the early companies to transition to cloud computing, and as
software as a service.
Yeah, and I heard you talking about on IBD Live earlier today that there are 3 cloud segments doing very well: creative services and documents. Just a company that was really able to pivot successfully to cloud computing, and again, one of the early movers in cloud computing. So good earnings report and a good solid breakout.
Right, a solid track record of double-digit growth.
Yeah, 20% sales growth for as far back as the eye can see.
Yeah, that's right. Well, and it finished today still in buy range, but let's pivot to another breakout that we saw today from MasterCard, which gained about 1.4% today. Volume wasn't really outstanding. Looks like it came in slightly below average for the day, but topping a buy point here nonetheless. And this is just a technical move here because the last earnings report that we had came in late October.
Yeah, so like you mentioned, volume not very impressive with MasterCard today, but really a good solid close here. And a good breakout. We've been kind of waiting for this to break out from this flat base with a 293.79 buy point. Finally came to fruition today. Good close near highs, and this is probably the longest holding on leaderboard. We've had this stock since January, so a nice gain here, and happy to see it outperforming today. Good solid breakout for MasterCard. Yeah,
that's right. And elsewhere in the enterprise software industry group, we're seeing ServiceNow rebounding. It gained about 2.8% today after pulling back near its 200-day line. But again, we are seeing a rebound here, and it looks like it's approaching what could be a handle.
Yeah, and there's actually it's this double bottom buy point is still in play, a 276.60 buy point. This is when we added it to leaderboard. But software stocks have been under selling pressure, so the software bulls today, nice. Happy to see a rebound in software stocks. It was a big reason why the Nasdaq was able to eke out a small gain today, mostly due to the outperformance of software stocks. But at last check, the IGV, which is sort of the benchmark software ETF, that was up about 1% today. So a lot of that had to do with Adobe's earnings, but ServiceNow, one of several enterprise software stocks, doing well today.
Right, and even though the software sector as a whole isn't performing quite how it was in the first half of the year, ServiceNow remained on our radar, given that its fundamentals are just so strong. Quite a few quarters of 40+% earnings growth and 30+% sales growth. So solid fundamentals here.
Yeah, there's still a lot of enterprise software stocks with high composite ratings, and a company like ServiceNow, even you look at annual earnings estimates for this year and next, supposed to be better than 30% annual growth. So there's still a lot of compelling growth stories in the enterprise software space, and I wouldn't necessarily give up on this group yet. It could resume leadership. We'll see how the group handles today's gains. Maybe we see some follow through next week.
Right, definitely keeping an eye on this one. All right, everyone, before we go, a few quick important announcements for you. We have a webinar coming up next week all about trading strategies for the opening bell with our very own David Chung and Ed Carson. And you can get all the details on that and sign up for free. It's a free webinar by going to investors.com/webinar, where you will be able to learn more about what we're doing with IBD Live, right, Ken?
Yeah, I heard you on the show earlier today, and that happens 5 days a week. Starts at 9:20 a.m. Eastern Time, just 10 minutes before the market open each day, and we go for a full hour, even a little bit more than an hour. So lots of actionable trading ideas, education, and good banter.
Yeah, that's right. And potentially someone on the team getting hit in the face with a Post-it note today, which you will see on Twitter in just a little bit here. So make sure you keep your eyes out for that. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for watching today. We really appreciate it. Hope you have a great weekend, and we'll see you right back here next week.